Welcome back to Flying Nest Models. Thanks again for tuning into the channel. I'm going to be rolling out on a video build log for the 148th Kitty Hawk F-35B Lightning. The B variant is the short takeoff vertical landing or STOVL variant of Lockheed's newest stealth multi-role fighter. I'm going to be building the version 2 release of the Kitty Hawk kit, which includes extra ordnance and a nice photo etch fret. The kit is packed with a bunch of plastic, all on 10 sprues. In the box, or out of the box in this case, the plastic looks really good. The surface detail is nice, and it features finely engraved panel lines, a full engine section, open weapons bays, a detailed cockpit, and the ability to pose the nutating nozzle in a takeoff or in-flight position. I'll be building this one in a takeoff configuration. I'll just do a quick fly through of the kit sprues here, but you'll see more as the build log progresses. The kit decals look really nice, and there are options for a number of unique variants. And the photo etch set is a nice addition as well. In this first episode, I'm going to be working on the innards of the kit, primarily the cockpit and the engine sections, as well as the intakes. The ejection seat is actually pretty nice and goes together well enough. There are some ejector pin marks here and there that need to be cut off, and one of my ejection seat sidewalls was a little bent out of shape, but that wasn't any big deal. I didn't like the seam on the top of the ejection seat, so I added a small piece of styrene sheet to close that out. I used my nutter punch set. It's a nice little tool manufactured by the small shop to make small rivets to add to the closeout piece, just to add a little extra detail. Since I plan on making this an in-flight or in-takeoff display, I needed to add the included pilot. Unfortunately, the pilot exceeded the maximum height for the F-35, so he or she needed to be cut down to size. I removed the kit's rudder pedals and saved them to be added back later. I had to cut the pilot's legs and hands away and trim the legs about 1/8 of an inch so that the feet would actually rest on the rudder pedals when I reinstalled those. The hands were trimmed off so I could attach them to the control columns and then position them correctly to the rest of the body. Pilot's oxygen hose is a bit strange, and it's a little too short to actually connect to the oxygen panel. It's actually no big deal. I just created a new one out of copper and solder wire as described in a previous video on scratch building flex hoses. I simply cut off the kit part, drilled a small hole in the face mask, and inserted the new oxygen hose and routed it to the oxygen panel when I glued the pilot's head on. I added a few other detailed parts to the pilot figure, including a few straps from pewter foil and a small plastic disc punched out of styrene sheet using my micro punch set. I also started building up some of the internal engine components. The Kitty Hawk kit provides a pretty comprehensive engine section, which includes details for the Rolls-Royce integrated lift fan propulsion system. These were assembled and painted with various shades of AK Interactive's excellent extreme metal range. When dry, I sprayed those metal components with AK's Gauzy prior to adding an oil wash to bring out more of the details in the propulsion system assemblies. The intakes are connected to the propulsion system, but there were some obvious ejector pin marks on the inside of the intakes. I feared these might be visible on the completed build, so I filled them with a little Tamiya fine surface putty and sanded those smooth. When I had that complete, it was time to lay down a base coat of Tamiya flat black on all the cockpit parts. I followed this up with a lighter coat of Tamiya NATO black, airbrushed just on the high spots. I then came back in and cut the NATO black with a little Tamiya khaki and sprayed that once again on the high spots just to bring out more of those details. When this was complete, I dry brushed a little Vallejo khaki on the pilot and seat to highlight the details in those areas. To dry brush, I just use a stiff bristle brush and remove nearly all the paint using a paper towel. I use various custom shades of Vallejo acrylics to paint the pilot figure. I think that will do it for part 1 of this video build log, and hope you'll follow along as I work through this 1/48th Kitty Hawk F-35 build. We'll see you next time.